What's up, guys? Stephen One Boy Thompson.
It's the IBA champion, Earl Smith Jr.
This is Cynthia Calvio.
Hi, this is Michaela Mayer.
This is Derek the Black Beast Slows.
This Daniel Miracle Man Jacob. Shout out to Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to
the Slip and Dip podcast
With your boy Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
What is up, people? Welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast, episode 49, coming at you on a Sunday evening on the heels of UFC Atlantic City. Broner Vargas, Jamel Charlo, all sorts of craziness across the world in the world of combat sports. We got a jam-packed episode for you guys. Once again today, on the episode, we have Miss Michelle Karate Hottie Waterson, Corey Overtime Anderson. Corey coming off a big win just last night against Patrick Cummings. Kendrick, what's happening?
Man, excited for this show, man. Staying with the theme with 2018. When you ball, you get the call. This gentleman and this lady balled, so we're gonna give them that call today.
Absolutely.
Man, did you see the? I don't know if you on your timeline. I know we got separate Facebooks and stuff. Get a little buzz. Do you know it's the year anniversary today? I got a buzz for our first show we did.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
so-
I did not know that. Wow. We almost made 50 in a year then.
Yeah.
It would have been 50 actually if we didn't. Last week we had some technical issues, so
Stay
it would've been a
consistent,
thing.
people. Stay consistent. We here for you, so be here for us.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been our 50th episode, but you know what? We had to upgrade the little audio equipment just a little bit. So we will have some better audio quality for you guys.
Please
Hopefully you're
feel
hearing
the
it right now. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, we listen to the feedback. We appreciate it. All the comments on our YouTube and people hitting us up on Twitter and whatnot. So keep it coming. Follow the show at Slip and Dip Podcast.
You want to start with boxing? You want to start with you? Want to go boxing as our guest or MMA?
Yeah, let's hit with the boxing first, man. Adrian
Shout
Broner.
out to the Charlo once again.
Okay, you want to go Charlo first?
Why do these people keep standing in front of these niggas? When you stand in front of them, they put you to sleep brutally. The reason that knockout had nothing to do with the power. Like they hit hard, but they hit people with stuff you don't see, and when you don't see, you get put to sleep. That's simple.
Yeah, it was just.
And he won't stand in trade. My man was outgunned. He come with my man got a little handgun. Your boy Charlo got an AK and threw 5 punches and.
Yeah, it was nasty. Like as soon as he was going to the canvas, and as soon as he wasn't getting up. He knew it was over.
You hear Pauly's like, he's not getting up.
No, that's the exact same thing I said. Like, he's not getting up for that. Like, just the way he fell down, like, it was over, and it was just, I tweeted right before the fight, I was like, man, this is about to be all the violence. It's about to be all the violence, and it was in the first round, too. Like, dang.
They got all the Dallas and Texas kin folks, his brother, Earl, and our shout out to our man Derek. You see them? They were like, they were all crunked up.
I like to call out a Triple G or as
GGG.
GGG, Triple G, whatever y'all call him.
He's just mandatory though.
Yeah,
he's just mandatory.
It's coming up, man. It's coming up. So that went exactly as expected, man.
And the thing is, got slipped down. Speaking of Triple GGG, just like I told y'all 6 weeks ago on the Slip and Dip podcast, Canelo Alvarez would find a way to settle out of court, because had he not settled, he would not fought none in 2018, and his Mexican fan base would have really been mad, and he would have been really losing a lot of money. But they did good. We're working behind the scenes to get some of his people on the show to explain what the future of Canelo is. But the plan for my sources is for him to fight September 15th. If he don't fight against Canelo, if he doesn't fight against Triple G in Las Vegas, he might be fighting here in Texas. So Texas fans, you may not want to cheer for him to fight Triple G if you want to see him fight in person.
Yeah.
That's a little known secret, but I'm at 1,000 last time I checked on this podcast. Just
right. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's a crazy saga that we'll see play out. It's just the freaking Tainted beat, man. We would have had a damn good fight May 5th.
Into my streak, man. 5 years in a row. Here's the crazy thing. My timeline was just lighting up. 5 years ago, Cinco de Mayo was my first Mayweather fight. May 2nd, 2013, I went to Mayweather Guerrero. Man, I'm literally touching the top of MGM. I'm thinking I'm ringside. I was just happy to be up in there. But then I made my mind up. I'm like, man, for future fights, mine's going to be a little bit lower. Never was up in the upper decks rest of Mayweather. I went to the Mayweather's last 7 fights. Those from the 6th on. Yeah, but from the 2nd on. Ringside, just saying. Include Mayweather Pacquiao. Yeah. Best fighting event of in boxing and UFC history.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy. Also, I mean, we can't go without mentioning Gervonta Davis.
He did what he had to do.
Yeah, looking good.
Stay focused, man. Stay focused. The dude's a hell of a talent.
Yeah. But, you can't help but kind of see a little bit of parallels. Your boy Adrian Broner.
But see, though, he get the business, though. Adrian Broner, wait. How'd you score it? I had 115-113 Broner because I had him winning one of the first.
I wasn't scoring it because I was watching UFC at the same time. I had them both up.
Oh, so you watched them live. See, I watched UFC live and I watched Broner and them on DVR. Yeah. I had 115-113. He won the last 6 and he won one in the first 6. But, bruh, he has not learned any lessons. Why do you wait? Have to fight before you start. If he fought the whole round of Vac 6, he'd be a top 10 fighter in the world. It's like you see it. But then it's like, what the F are you doing for the first 6 rounds?
He's and then after the last round, like, I loved the advice his corner gave him going into the last round. He straight up told him, like, I love when corners are honest with their fighters. He straight up told him, like, look, I need you to go out there like you need a knockout. I need you to go out there and act like you need a knockout to win because I don't know what they're doing with these effing scorecards. That's literally quote, unquote, what he told him. And AB's like, all right, I got you. And then got up and didn't do anything in the round. I'm like, what? Like,
he didn't have to win the round, though. But he was trying to knock him out.
I think if he would have won that 12th round. I didn't see the official cards on
they
how
had
they
the
scored
official
the 12th
card.
round.
2 judges disagreed. One had it for him, one had it for Vargas, and those were the ones that split. They had it 114, which is crazy.
In the 12th round?
12th round.
Okay, I didn't see that scorecard. But yeah, I think, I mean, he needs to get fired up a little earlier. You know, the rounds that he won, he looked every bit of the fighter that everybody, expects he can be. But early in the fight, you're like, you trying to get settled in too much. I don't know. You playing around too much. I don't know what it is.
I don't want to say he was playing around, but it's like...
No, Jesse Vargas is a beast. I'm not trying to take anything away from him either. Like, Jesse Vargas is damn good. So you got to give him credit for it.
But he definitely was too casual.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. It was a good fight either way. But, AB, after the fact, though, Jim Gray, man, don't check Jim Gray. Jim Gray will put you in your place.
He tried to take that microphone. He went Joe Rogan with that microphone. He went Joe Rogan with that microphone.
Man, Jim Gray said, you ain't getting my mic, bro. Slapped his hand away.
Hey, he's a Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame reporter. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He gets inducted in the next couple weeks.
I loved it. Jim Gray checked AB so hard throughout that whole post-fight interview.
But do you think that was scripted, man? Because they do all this talking.
Wait, hold on. You think AB does anything scripted? Seriously? No. Come on, bro. Come on. That's AB being him.
But did you see him and Vargas go out of the? He need to calm the hell down. All the people there, nobody remotely trying to separate them. That's what to me was the telltale.
That's because
they were that heated and they just got done fighting. You would assume they're really trying to fight again.
Because AB he'll say a bunch of dumb stuff, but he's not gonna be the guy that's gonna throw a dolly through the bus window. You know what I mean? Like he can say a bunch of crazy stuff, but he knows where the line is and he stays within that line. I mean, I don't know if he knows where all the lines are, but he knows the line of at least I'm not gonna hit you unless if we're getting paid for it type thing. He knows that line, and that's the only one that I'm pretty sure he understands. He did offend the hell out of Mexican people, and he did offend gay people as well. So he doesn't understand those lines. So there's some he does understand and some he does not. But he just needs to watch himself when it comes to those sorts of things. But that's pretty much it. Boxing had a good weekend. Amir Khan also fought, and he knocked out a dude. I forget who he fought, but he walked through a dude pretty quickly with no issues. But UFC wise, man, we had UFC Atlantic City with your boy Kevin Lee in the main event against Edson Barboza. And Kevin Lee is looking like elite, like throughout the cross of the world when it comes to top game, ground position early in the first rounds, second rounds. Like, he is, like, right up there with Khabib.
You
Like,
think he could grapple with Khabib? You think he might be that one?
We got to see it, man. We got to see it at some point.
My
we
whole
got to
thing
see it.
But shout out to Dewey. I talked to Dewey through text today. He said everything happened. He said Kevin got a little wild in the third round. But to me, that proves that what we talk about here all the time. He had no reason to take a chance. He wants to test himself or whatever, and it literally in a nanosecond, we talking about something completely different.
I literally tweeted out. I forget the exact tweet because I haven't pulled it up. But I tweeted out, literally, I was like, Kevin's got to be aware that Barboza can end this fight at any moment as long as it's standing. I hit send and whap, wheel kick. I was like, I just said this. And then he gets hit, man, like the clip, right? Like, I got it up right here on YouTube if you're watching it.
Uppercut to the jaw, left kick.
I'm going to mute it because, I don't want to get this. Like, I get you want to show off your...
Woo! Woo!
All over the place. The stankiest of the legs. All the stankiest of the legs. But I will say this.
Wow,
like,
Kevin got a chin, though.
He does have a chin, but look, I will say this. I think one thing a lot of people are overlooking. I mean, I don't know how many people actually analyzed Kevin's recovery here. But as you can see, he gets hit with it. And then that step right there, he almost rolls his ankle. So I think that's why it looked worse than it really did. Because watch his right leg. Watch his right leg. He almost rolls his ankle. So he had to kind of like step and get his composure under him, And then he obviously gets right back in there for the takedown. And Barboza stuffs it initially, but Kevin's able to get back up here seconds later and then really get him in against the cage right here.
It's crazy because he just got the kick and he goes back to running. It's like, I would say Barboza, one thing that was impressive.
But he's trying to avoid the takedown right there. But,
I'm not trying to hate on him because he did what he had to do to survive, but he basically displayed on what you do, how to take an ass whooping one-on-one. And I say that because he never gave his back up, so he kept staying in the fight, but he was eating everything when he was mounted. Because his back was stayed up against the cage, so Kevin couldn't get the choke in, so he was absorbing the punishment, but he was doing enough to stay in the fight. So he was taking the ass whooping like a champ, but he was not returning any offense other than that kick.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't
know if that's the thing you ever want to do. Cause
I don't know. I say he wanted to do, but I'm saying he didn't give up his back. Most people got. You saw what Chiesa did when he was in that same position. We were right next to each other, cage side when we saw that. He gave up that back. You saw what happened.
Yeah, 10-8 rounds though. Every round Kevin Lee won was a 10-8 round, and that's 3 of them before he got the finish.
Yeah.
So I mean, by the doctor stoppage, which is just absolute mauling, man. Absolute mauling. And the scary thing about Kevin is, you look at the whole division. The whole division is 29 plus. Everybody else 29 plus at the top right now. Kevin is 25. So if he doesn't get a title shot by the end of the year, like, he is in such a damn good spot. Like, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. He will be holding that championship belt at some point in his career. It's just when's the timing?
With the cook his interest, man, I still laugh when he said that he's toned down from his younger years. Like we said, he's only 25, so I was imagining how cook he was at 22 when he was fighting. Did you see him last night?
Yeah.
He said the man trying to put the grease on him.
Of course, that's what he does. That's what he does. He's getting hyped, getting crunk before the fights, man. But, yeah, fantastic performance, man. I don't know what they're going to do with this lightweight division right now because there's so much stuff between Conor. We don't know if he's coming back. Khabib is on Ramadan. Tony Ferguson's out for at least the foreseeable future with that knee surgery. Dustin and Eddie, like, who knows, man? Who knows? I was talking with Jim Edwards, man. We're trying to figure out the best way to do it. There's no right answer right now because there's so many variables. But...
But why do people try to do that with MMA? They try to they need to do it this way. It's like, this is not WWE. You don't call in and make a vote on what you want to see.
Because you're trying to trying to predict where the division's going. There's nothing wrong with that.
But there's no method to their madness, though.
There is, of course. We're going by rankings. We're going by matchups, timing.
But they don't go by rankings.
Analyze all that stuff.
They don't go by rankings.
I know. I know. That's why we're saying this is the way it should go. This is the way it should go.
Yeah, so that's more different. Yeah, where it should go and where it actually goes are two different things.
That's what we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's the way it should go, but that's not the way it's gonna go.
Yeah, it's who knows, man. But other things throughout the card, man. Frankie Edgar got the win over Cub Swanson. It was a good fight. It is good back and forth fight. Frankie won every round on my cards. Wasn't, Cub really didn't threaten with too much, at least like fight ending wise. Frankie looked like the Frankie Edgar that we thought was going to show up against Ortega. If we saw that Frankie Edgar against Ortega, it'd be a whole different story. I think. We probably see Edgar in there, but I don't know, man.
I think it's title contender days. I think he's a gatekeeper. As much as I know he was fired up afterwards, he's had a great career. But come on, now it's a young man's game. He can't stay with them youngsters. You see what happens. You see stuff you've never seen before when you get to the K with one of them youngsters, and that's not good for him.
I don't know, man. Like Edgar, he was sharp last night. He was damn sharp last night. And Cub is no easy out by any means.
But they both got mileage on that, so.
Still, I think he gets a crack at it again at some point within the next year. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Enough. I like Frankie a lot. I'm not trying to hate on him. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. He's probably one of the top 10 pound for pound, I would say, all time.
Yes.
You look at resumes, but it's 2018.
My favorite part about Frankie Edgar is that Frankie Edgar does it without cutting weight.
Yeah.
So he proves to people fighting wins fights, not weight.
No, that's the dumbest thing in UFC. But
yes.
Hey, I wish you could cue up that clip of Kevin Lee. Like he said, "Hey man, I'm young. I know I'm cutting off a couple years of my life doing this crazy shit, but that's what pays my bills."
Fighting wins fights, people, not cutting weight. So just remember that. I do want to touch on that also because Kevin did miss weight, right? So I want to touch on this real quick.
That's what happens when you don't take the call for some of the podcast.
Your fight week that goes. Not saying that at all. Not saying that at all. But here's the thing. I mean, we talked about this. Me and our boy Danny go back and forth a little bit about this. He's got a take. I got a take. My take is this. My take is that 1 pound, because Kevin Lee missed weight by 1 pound, has no bearing on what happens the very next night, 24 hours later. By being 1 pound off on the scale, because Kevin is trying to cut weight. He is struggling to cut weight. And just because one guy makes it doesn't mean that the guy that made it suffered more, because these are two different people, two different body types. Like, are you going to tell me that Frankie Edgar's last pound to make weight is tougher than Brian Ortega's last pound to make weight? No, because Brian Ortega cuts friggin' 30 pounds to get down to 145. Frankie Edgar cuts 10 pounds. So that last pound is not equal to everybody else. So there's different body types. Not everybody struggles the same to get down to the same weight just because the scale shows the same number. So there's different body types, different outcomes. Different people will go through different things to make said weight. And the fact that people are pointing to the fact that that this year in 2018, all the people that have made weight or not made weight are undefeated. That is the most coincidental stat ever right now. Okay, because I have the numbers. Everybody wants you want to throw stats. Okay, we'll show the whole story if you're gonna go pull up stats. Okay, I'm pulling it up right here. Let's go back all the way to 2013, shall we? And I think this is the first time Kendrick's actually ever seen this.
Yeah, I'm looking like y'all.
Yeah, so let's go all the way back to 2013. Here's the list on the screen here if you're watching on YouTube of all of the fighters that have missed weight and the outcome. You see a lot of green in there recently. Okay, so there's a trend. There's an uptrend of the fighters winning, but there's also a lot of red all the way back to 2013, and the reds are losses. Okay, this is a 50-50 stat overall right here. Half the time the fighter misses wins, half the time the fighter doesn't. That seems pretty damn even for an MMA fight to me, where anything can happen. But in 2018, everybody's like, oh, undefeated. All these people that miss weight are undefeated. Okay, well, how about this? There's 5 fights in 2018, right, where fighters have missed weight and won. 4 of those were favored to win before they step on the scale anyways. So all of a sudden, just because they missed weight means that they're a bigger favorite? Like, no, come on, miss me with all that, man. Miss me with all that. And you're going to tell me that Kevin Lee cuts 1 more pound, all of a sudden Edson Barboza is going to be able to stuff a takedown? Like, what? Like, none of that makes sense to me.
But the thing
it's
that I
all
don't
overblown.
understand is, we will joke with the fighters, so some of them now get more protective of it. So how much you weigh? It be Tuesday, y'all weigh 180. So you fight at 155 on Friday. You got to be 155 Friday morning in that hotel where everybody from John Morgan to Ariel Hawani making commentary and talking like this. And you got 25 pounds to lose in 4 days. Like, that is not normal. I don't necessarily think it's the weight cut. It's how they do it.
It's
25 pounds in 4 days. Like, if they sit there and had like say if it's, they walk around like T City walks around at one whatchamacallit, he walks around at 170. Okay, they fight in July 4th. Okay, it's June 4th. He's at 160 or something like that to get down to that. That would make sense. But these fools strolling in 15 pounds and above over does not make any sense. And for a lady, it seems like if it's over 10, it's hard for a chick to do it because body types are different.
It's stupid, man. Like, there's no other sport on this planet where people do this.
They only do it in boxing, and it's
Exactly.
combat sport.
Exactly.
But I will say this though, in boxing though, they have more weight classes,
Yes,
so
they
that helps out a ton.
Still though, the guys aren't cutting 30 pounds.
No, those are things that's too big. Like for instance, like Canelo, he will never fight at 147 ever again. He walks around at 170. That's too big of a cut. He'll fight at 154 or 160 or go up before he goes down to 147 again.
It's so stupid. And I'll say that I want to touch on Leslie Smith too, real quick. You caught up with that whole thing.
What, Aspen Lad?
Yeah. I don't blame her for not fighting at all. Rather, like I get the whole aspect like of the professionalism side of you're supposed to make the weight that's on the contract. I agree with that. I will agree with that. But once you accept the fight, once you take that 20%, as compensation for that 1 pound that really has no difference when it comes to the fight, on fight night, then yeah, that's it. That's it. Once you accept that compensation, that's it. You can't talk about weight anymore. But UFC said, hey, we'll pay you your full purse, essentially just to make you go away because we don't like Project Spearhead. We don't like what you're doing. Trying to start a union and all that stuff. That's more so what it was. And, it kind of sucks, but...
Do you think they get this union stuff done? They have to do it. Like, people look at the high-name people, like, for instance, like, somebody like... our girl Cynthia Calvia. Shout out to Cynthia. I'm trying to get you back on the show, girl. Much love. But like somebody, like this lady was working at Cheesecake Factory this time last year. She got some success. What she would have get hurt or something like that? She get no compensation, and she been putting her body on the line because she didn't get enough chance to get her. She would have got a chance to do stuff outside, like because some people are smart, like our guest today, Michelle. She has a lot of stuff going outside the case that she can survive on. A lot of these people are not like that. That's just on the women's side. There's a lot of these good fighters that people don't know, that people know about, but they don't got nothing going. Like they're not fighting like Mike Chiesa. Like he ain't getting nothing. I don't think he got any income coming in because of all this Conor McGregorness until he hit that lawsuit.
I don't know. I mean, I'll say the thing with Michelle is like she understands business, but Michelle's also very marketable. She's very well spoken. She knows how to carry herself. Not everybody knows
that's a good fighter that doesn't got that going. Like this will protect you.
Yes, for sure. For the fighters that don't have that, that kind of thing going on, absolutely. That's why they need these sort of things in place. But what we've seen, we always try to tell fighters, like, don't be scared to sign these cards for Project Spearhead. Don't be scared to have it investigated to see if you guys are employees. But they always, fear the retaliation. They fear all that. And here we see the retaliation with Leslie Smith, basically paying her off to fulfill her contract. And
she stepped up on Cyborg. Like I saw her little thing with I'm not like peeping up the other videos and stuff. I think she was with MMA Fighting and said, I fight damn Cyborg. Who else is stepping up? So she does have a legit case.
Yeah, it was with MMA Junkie. John Morgan was on the scene. Got that.
Shout out to John.
That exclusives.
Doing good stuff as he always is.
For sure. And it's unfortunate. Like Leslie did say, like for the record, for people that thought she was just trying to like pull out, be scared, she said she would have fought if the UFC extended her contract for one more after this, and they wouldn't do it. They're like, hey, we'll pay you your full purse. So why, if they're gonna pay your full purse either way, why would you fight? Like, why am I gonna go out there and get punched? Like, for what? Yeah, I'm getting paid the same amount of money. Like, you're gonna go out there and fight for a potential $50,000? You really think they're gonna give Leslie Smith the bonus? Come on. I'm just being real, people. Just being real. It's frustrating. I mean, I do want to see a union form at some point because there's got to be some better things for these guys. Got to be. Other things on the note of the night, real quick. David Branch, impressive finish. Aljo got it done. Looked good. He looked good. A lot of improvements in the game.
We gonna whatchamacallit, we gotta get him back on. Since he balled, he gotta get that call back. That's on you.
Yeah. We mentioned it coming up. Dan Hooker with the most respectful call out ever in the history of the sport, calling out Paul Felder as he is interviewing him in the cage.
That's a nice thing, but why do people make a big deal about that?
Because
it's proven that
because most people don't have a
that,
name. Most people don't have a name ready. But Dan Hooker was like, you know what? I want to fight you. You holding the mic interviewing me right now, which is kind of weird.
Hey, we can get Mr. Felder on because he showed us love during the fight week with all that craziness that they kind of stymied. I think that would have been a better fight than Alakenta had he got that call.
Yeah. And last but not least, before we get into these interviews, Mr. Corey Anderson got it done against Pat Cummins. And Corey Anderson's on the show. He's on the show, guys. And Corey's got some good stuff coming up for you, talking about hunting and all sorts of things.
We're trying to get more diverse with it. Give y'all some more stuff with the fighters, kind of like an anatomy of a fighter that people don't see, that what makes them who they are.
Yeah, I like to try to find out a little bit more about these guys, man. Especially Corey. Like, Corey, he's pretty active on social media, but you know, he just seems like a guy that not a lot of people know a lot about. So, you know, we got him to open up about his hunting adventures a little bit. So that's gonna be fun to talk about for you guys here. What else you want to get into, man, before we get into these interviews with Karate Hottie and Corey Anderson?
Be on the lookout, trying to get with Earl Spence' team. We might be popping up at gyms. We got a lot of invites. We got hunt invites. We got an invite to Derek the Black Elise Lewis gym in Houston. I got the open invite. I'm trying to get man in and go spend a day at Earl Spence gym. So we trying to bring out some flavor stuff. He fighting June. You gotta come. Get your first championship boxing experience.
Yeah.
You gotta come on Saturday up here in the D.
Absolutely. Errol Spence was in the booth too this weekend. Did you see that? He was in the booth for the promo.
I'm talking about him and Mr. Gary Russell.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Mr. Gary Russell's opponent. Shout out JoJo Diaz. JoJo, please pick up, brother. We trying to show you some love. That's gonna be a good fight. I think that's one of the coolest nicknames. His name just Mr. Gary Russell. And that's what they say when they call about WBC lightweight champion, Mr. Gary Russell Jr.
So proper. It commands respect when you say it that way. But yeah, that's what it is, people. Follow the show at Slip and Dip Podcast on YouTube, Spreaker, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast listening on. Follow Kendrick at Kendrick Johnso on Twitter. Follow me at Mr. M. Wells Art on Twitter. Instagram as well for the show. And if you want to hit me up on Instagram, I'm there too. At M. Wells Art. So, yeah. Hit us up, people. We're trying to do a lot of stuff for the show. And like Kendrick said, going to gyms, getting some videos and stuff. You might catch us out in the field hunting in a couple weeks. You never know where we're going to go. But, yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff, having a lot of fun. Upgrading our experience here on the Slip and Dip Podcast. So you guys are really going to enjoy what we got coming. And these interviews with Michelle Waterson, the Karate Hottie, coming off a win. Corey Anderson, coming off a win. Getting the winners, baby.
Ball it and call it.
You ball, you get the call. All right. So let's do it. First up, we got Miss Michelle Karate Hottie Waterson, followed up by Corey Overtime Anderson. And that is episode 49 for you guys. Enjoy it.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip Podcast. She won just last week, got her hand raised against Courtney Casey at UFC Fox 29 in Glendale, Arizona. The Karate Hottie. We know she's staying with our themes, Michelle. You ball, you get the call. We give you that call because you balled out last week.
Thank you. It was nice. It was nice to get that W. You know, sometimes when you're like on that losing streak, it's hard to just get over that hump. It's hard to to erase those L's. And so it was nice to just get out there and be able to perform and enjoy fighting again.
Does it? I know, of course, you're a competitive person, but does it make a difference as who you listen to, or like the elite of the elite? You're not listening to some like nobody people. You're listening to world champions and stuff.
Yeah, and that's why the losses really, I wasn't too mad about them. Obviously I lost to Rose. It was a really competitive fight up until the moment that she kicked me in the head and I didn't remember where I was at. That's the thing about fighting, though. It's, it really is a game of inches. And obviously Tisha, it was a competitive fight. In my opinion, I feel like I played into her game a little bit too much, and I allowed her to control and dictate the pace of the fight, and I fought her fight. I didn't fight my fight. And so, again, too, but Tisha's, both of these ladies that I'm fighting, one is a champ now, and the other is one of the only girls that has beaten the champ. So, there's no shame in losing to those two women, and I've become a better fighter because of them, and I've learned and I've grown because of them.
I think one thing that you've proven over your past couple of fights is that, technique is key, because a lot of the angles that people are trying to go with is that, oh, Tisha's so much, bulkier, she's stockier, she's got a better wrestling game, yada, yada. Same with Courtney. Like, that was the thing. Like, people were like, oh, she's just going to overpower Michelle. It's just going to be, she can just take her down and control wherever the fight goes, and then we see you out there hitting these trip takedowns and, just catching her off guard with stuff. And I think that's one of the things a lot of people overlook at times is that, when you have better technique, you can pretty much overcome those kind of things.
I agree with you, and it, I just think sometimes you can let the self-doubt and the noise of the outside world creep in, and you can let that take over, or you can believe in your skills and your abilities and you just go out there and do your thing. Rose isn't the most muscular person. You look at some of these other people that are legends, like BJ Penn. If you were to see him on the street, you wouldn't think that he was like as badass of a fighter as he is. No. So I just I've been a martial artist for my entire life, and I just have to believe in my skills and my abilities, and know that I can hang with these top girls.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think your kicking game is very underrated too, because you caught Courtney with a kick that sent her flying across the cage almost.
I know, and then it's funny because one of my coaches was like, "Go in there," but there was 10 seconds left, and I seen video on her when she fought Jessica Aguilar, and her up kicks are nothing to be playing with. So I wasn't trying to run into the fire.
Yeah, we lost you there for a second. There we go. Hold on. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we got you. We're good.
How much did training with Holly help you out, so you have an elite world champion with that similar body type pushing you every day to get you ready for that big fight?
Holly is way bigger, and obviously 2 weight classes of mine. I kind of just have to get myself hyped up to spar her, and it's 'cause one of those things. It's like I have to just bite down and be like, okay, I'm sparring Holly today, but if I can hang in the rounds with Holly, then I can hang in the rounds with Courtney.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I think one of the things, Courtney, she was saying she has a lot of respect for you and everything before the fight like that. Do you think that, we've seen it in the past where sometimes fighters, as the fight's playing out, they show a little bit too much respect. Did you get a hint of that as the fight was playing out, or did you think, I'm just handling my game and doing what I have to do?
I think Courtney comes from a background of sportsmanship because she was a soccer player, and in her mind she competes because she likes to compete. She's an athletic woman, and I don't think she fights with any ill will. And everybody has their own way of fighting. Some people have to have a grudge with their opponent. Some people have to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, but to me she was a game opponent, and we're both coming off of 2 losses. So, you have to go in there hungry. At least that's how I was. I wasn't trying to go in there to lose again. But it was a fun, competitive fight, and afterwards, we exchanged nice words, and at the end of the day, we're both in the same profession. If we weren't having to fight each other, I'm sure all of us girls in the division would be friends because we share the same passions.
Gotcha. To talk about your years, like the last 18 months of your life, that's been pretty whirlwind for you. You got your hand raised. You've been getting a lot of exposure with the sponsors. You on the MTV Real World Road Rules Challenge. You just had a hell of the last year and a half.
It's been crazy. When people say your success doesn't happen overnight, but a lot of the outside world, that's what they see, is all of a sudden all these things start happening for you. It has been a whirlwind of events. And I'm just really trying to soak it in and enjoy it, because sometimes you can stress out about all the obligations and things that you have to do. But when I'm 70 years old and a grandma, I'm going to look back on these times and be like, dang, I was in there. I didn't wish to do it. I did it,
How cool was it to hang out with Johnny Bananas and Justina Valentine? You got to help us get them on the show. Are you friends?
Justina is my girl.
Can we get on the show? Because she be wilding out on TV.
She is so good. I'm just blown away by her talent. She really is amazing. She is so smart and so sweet. She was my road dog throughout the whole challenge. It was like, no matter what, we were taking each other to the end. And she's very athletic. She's quick on her feet. She knows how to work the room, and her rhymes are sick. We'll just be chilling, and somebody will hit a beat. She tried to teach me how to do that, and I suck at it. But
you can't freestyle.
Yeah, so you like the. I was spitting all over the place. But somebody would hit a beat, and then she'd just start rapping, and then whatever I threw at her, she put it into her freestyle, and it was just so cool. I admire her a lot for being able to be that quick on her feet.
Has she visited you in New Mexico?
No, she hasn't. We stay in touch through social media. She's super busy with being on the Wild 'N Out show, and taking care of her own music and stuff like that. She's blown up. I think she's going to be real big real soon.
Very cool. I think I've asked you about this in the past, but just looking at your Instagram stories and videos you've done in the past, back when I was with MMA Latest and stuff like that. When are we gonna have the Karate Hottie cookbook come out?
I don't know. There's a lot of things in the works. Obviously, right now, my daughter's a big part of my life. She's 7 now. She's really into baking. It's kind of hard to bake with her while I'm in camp because I love sweets. and it's the same with my mom. My mom's a wonderful Thai cook. But, she wants me to bring her out, early in the camp, and I just can't do it because I'm too tempted to eat all the food that she cooks. So what I've been doing is bringing her out about a week before so she can help with the last minute stresses of fight camp, and then we keep her out for another 2 or 3 weeks so that we can actually enjoy her food. But as far as books or anything like that is concerned, there are things that are on the horizon that I really have a passion for and that I've been putting a lot of my heart into, and hopefully I can give you some more news on that when things start getting into, I'm not going to say, I want to talk about it until it actually starts getting put into motion. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Do you have a timetable on how much longer you? I'm not trying to retire you. Your girl JJ thought I was trying to retire her after a loss. Are you trying to say I should retire?
Oh, did you talk to JJ?
Well, after the fight, I asked her about how much longer does she think she's going to be fighting. Are you trying to say I should retire? Because I know a lot of ladies that don't have kids like you do are usually start having kids around y'all age. So,
it makes a big difference. As a male fighter, you can continue to have a family because the wife is the one that carries the baby. But my daughter's 7. I do want more children, but I also have to take advantage of the time that I have right now. I feel like there's so much that I haven't shown the world that I can do. And I want to get those. I want to get those out. I want to be able to leave the sport knowing that I left it all in the octagon. And so I have been fighting for a very long time, though, over 11 years. So I'm probably going to give myself another, I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
Okay. And what is that end game for you? Is it getting that championship, or is it having a certain type of performance against a particular opponent, or what is it? What is that thing that you can leave the sport feeling fulfilled?
I mean, ideally, I would love to be able to fight for the belt and become the champ. That's the pinnacle of the sport, to get that top. To get to the top of the top. But you can only control what's within your grasp. So that's my goal. Obviously, I'm going to continue to climb up the ladder. I know that I have what it takes to become the champ. I just got to go out there and continue to prove myself. So.
Absolutely.
Have you talked to Sean Shelby, anybody, about that next time we're going to see you in there?
About what?
Next time we're going to see you in the octagon against who? Do you have a particular opponent?
Well, I don't have a particular opponent. Who do you think I should go up against next?
Oh, wow.
Stylistically, let's see. I like to see you and you haven't fought Carolina, have you?
I have not. You must be reading my mind.
Oh, look at that. There you go.
I think that would be a great fight. I'm looking forward to seeing the fight between Claudia and Carla. They got some history between between the two of them.
What's the history? What's the history? Bring this up to the scoop.
Well, the history, so both ladies fought for Invicta, which was an all-female fight organization before they got signed to the UFC. Sure. And at the time, Carla was the Invicta strawweight champ. And they were slated to fight a bunch of times. And one time, I think Claudia missed weight and got really sick. And then another time, Carla hurt herself. And so they just kept missing each other. And each time that they kept missing each other, it was like they were like talking crap on each other. Like, oh, well, you really didn't want to fight. Oh, well, she didn't want it. And now it's finally happening. So it's kind of like.
They were the Habib and Tony of Invicta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, And Claudia did come down to Albuquerque and train with us for a while, and I've become pretty good friends with her. I love her. I love her attitude about life. I love her attitude about fighting. She's a very humble martial artist, but that's just a beast in the cage, So I look forward to seeing that fight. But yeah, I think Carolina would be an awesome fight for me next.
Absolutely. Okay. When would you like that to take place? I mean, does it matter, or is it just, hey, give me Carolina and I'll be there?
I feel like so much has happened between my last couple of fights and this last fight that I kind of just want to take a bit of a breather and spend some time with my family. In my last fight, there was a lot of things going on. We just moved to a new house, and then my father-in-law got in a really bad car accident. And and so there's a lot of personal issues that we kind of haven't been able to really deal with the way we want to. So I'd like to be able to deal with some of those issues and enjoy my family. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I want to enjoy the summer, I guess, if that helps at all.
Okay. You can take in all the good fights that are coming up, just like we'll be doing.
Yeah, exactly. I want to enjoy the summer. I also, you want to take advantage of the platform while I have it, and I've been working on trying to get behind the desk. I really enjoy the sport. I love analyzing the other fighters. I also think that when you do take the time to analyze the other fighters and get behind the desk, it's kind of like when you teach. You're able to break it down a little bit more, and it helps your game. At least it did for me.
Yeah, I mean, especially being able to, because I think you're able to, articulate well what's going on in the cage. So I would like to see that as well, because, hearing you on interviews, podcasts, for example, you speaking on the Conor McGregor situation backstage, impressive. Like, that's the kind of stuff we need more of, you know. And it's funny whenever I see on Twitter, you know, sometimes people will say, or, you know, on social media that, you know, such and such fighter doesn't know what they're talking about, yada yada. Yeah, listen, like, I think putting you on the mic would be awesome, because, like I said, like, I almost like just had a slow clap starting when I finished watching your little Conor McGregor thing. I was just like, yes, Michelle nailed it.
So I didn't hear it. I was there. I saw him go through the front, Michelle. Do you know where Barclays Center? Have you been there?
Yes.
Okay, I was in the Starbucks next to it, and I see him coming with the real thugs, and I'm like, I'm getting my camera. I'm thinking like he can't go through the front because they just locked our ass out. So I thought he was gonna be up there for a minute. By the time I went like this and went up, that door opened, the backlight people, and they come storming in like some gangsters. I saw it like right next to that Starbucks next to Barclays Center. And so I didn't know what was going on inside until, and then the thing is, you know, since you know Barclays, he came out the side street off Atlantic and shot across. Like, them motherfuckers were running.
After it all happened, I don't know why you run though. It's not like you were in there like wearing a mask or nothing. Everybody got their cameras out. You got your camera crew with you. Like, why are you running? Like, you know what's about to happen.
The crazy thing is though, he had some. I told Matt, basically you had some European nonsense that came over to New York. If that happens in Russia or Ireland, that's not even news. It's another day. Like your girl Carolina, she's like, I'm from Poland. That's what happens. It's like another day.
You got to think too. Like, honestly, if it is something that's like an everyday occurrence, then let it play out how it should have, because there was a dozen fighters on that bus, and if it needed to play out how it needed to play out, those fighters would have got off the bus and did something.
Yeah,
like, that's with their money too, you know.
If I'm Michael Chiesa, I need $2 million.
Like, I understand that you're like a big deal, but these fighters, they have families, and they have coaches that they have to pay. They have, you know, it's not like they get paid a salary. And they had nothing to do with the situation. So I don't know. I just, if anybody else had done that to the bus that wasn't Conor McGregor, what would have happened?
Yeah. Probably kicked out of the UFC.
They probably, yeah.
Would you? So tell me this: if you Michael Chiesa, would you have sued? Would you be suing? Out of curiosity.
If something happened to me?
Yeah, like Michael Chiesa. You Michael Chiesa. Same thing happened to him. Happens to you. Are you suing?
Absolutely. Because your fight career is short-lived anyways. You know what I mean? And if that gets cut in half or even more than half, and it also affects, like, that was a huge fight for Mike Chiesa, you know? And for him to have everything delayed, that puts him back in the rankings, that takes away his money. He could have won bonus. He could have won his win purse. You know, it just takes him back in every instance. And like, what would have happened if McGregor was on the bus and something had happened to him? What would he have done?
Yeah.
He would.
That's good. Man, she got broke down right there. I didn't even thought about that.
I didn't think about that scenario either. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it, but it's just, you know, when you're in his place, he can get away with so much stuff, and you know, and Dana would like just listening to Dana was like, oh, this is the worst thing ever, and yada yada, and then the next day he's like, oh, well, worst thing happened in other sports. So it's like he already went complete 180 on it, because, you know, I mean, Conor brings in money. That's the business side of it. He brings money, so. You know, he gets away with it.
It just sucks because, and it is true, like, you know, it's, as much as you don't want to talk about it, money is what makes the world go round, right? But there are a lot of fighters that get into the sport to try to get away from that kind of life. And they're trying to make it a professional career so that it can become mainstream. There's still people that don't even know what the UFC is, you know? So, like, for stuff like this to happen, it to be okay, it makes people think, like, well, is that real? Is it like WWE stuff? Or, like, it just confuses them.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. Like, the very next morning, I turn on the TV. Well, actually, my fiance leaves the TV on, you know, when she goes to work. So the TV's up blaring, like, as I'm getting out of bed. And Good Morning America and all these other shows are talking about Conor McGregor. They're not talking about UFC, the pay-per-view about to happen. They're not talking about that. They're talking about Conor McGregor throwing a dolly through a bus window.
I know, and that's unfortunate because that fight card was amazing.
Yeah,
You know,
it was.
Alakanta and Khabib put on an amazing show. I was not expecting it to go 5 rounds. The fight between Rose and Joanna was a great fight. And so I think those are things that we could have been talking about, but instead we're talking about dollies, and we're still talking about it. So obviously it's working. But then it's like, so it puts in the fighters' heads like, okay, well, if that's what I got to do to make money, then I'm going to start wilding out. And then it's going to be real hard to keep the fighters under control.
Yeah, and that was my favorite point that you said right there, backstage, was that point right there. Other fighters will take that and they'll be like, oh, I can get away with this, or oh, I should act like that because look at all the attention it's getting. My name will be out there. And, we kind of already see one person in particular going that route, but I don't think we need to say his name right now. It's just one of the, like, I hope we don't see anybody else go that route. Be respectful, be kind. Like, for example, like yesterday, Dan Hooker, like the most respectful call out of a person standing right in front of you ever when he called out Paul Felder. It's just like, you can be humble, you can be kind, and still get a lot of people talking about you. Be like
I thought that was great.
Michelle, here's a two-part question for me. Does it bother you when people say, so do you fight UFC? Like they don't get like UFC and MMA. like nobody says, hey, do you play NFL?
Yeah.
And how give us your breakdown of Rose and JJ. We both had it 3-2. We both had Rose winning the first 2. We both had JJ winning 3 and 4. And I had to take down. I had it even until the takedown, and Rose got it. I don't know how JJ was shocked with the decision. As much as I like her, she got beat because she made adjustments a little too late.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with how you broke it down. I gave Rose the first 2. I felt like there was something that was off with Rose in the third. It was like for the third and the fourth, she kind of lost sync with her head, And in my opinion, Rose is a very mental fighter. So I seen it click back in the fifth where she was like, okay, well, I got to win this fight. And she went out there and she took it. It was, in my opinion, 2-2 going into the fifth. And I just feel like if you are the contender, if you are the person going in there to try to take the championship belt, you have to take it convincingly. And I thought Rose did more damage when she did land. They were the harder shots. And I just felt like JJ, I could see where JJ would feel like that, but I also think that JJ is just a very confident fighter no matter what. And so in her mind, she thought that she was winning. But maybe if she goes back and looks at it, she'll think differently. I don't know.
Do you think it's not really no tough alpha female in your division? It's all about matchups? Because I think someone like you or Carolina could beat Rose. I won't say easily, but y'all styles match up better versus y'all have more problems against JJ just for different reasons stylistically.
I agree with you 100%. Just because you're the champ doesn't. Rose has been able to secure the championship belt through the fights that she's been given. Now, styles make fights. Just for the same reason, JJ was able to beat Andrade because she was using her reach. She was keeping her out with her jabs, and Andrade couldn't get in. And Claudia Gadelha is a beast, and Claudia wasn't able to beat Andrade because her style is different. She likes to get in close, and that's what Andrade wants, is to get in close so she can do those big slams and all those. So absolutely, styles make fights, and that's the reason why it's nice that Rose has secured the championship belt, because now we have a whole new lineup of fights that can happen.
Absolutely. So yeah, is that Master Yaya in the back there?
Yeah, Mr. Yaya. Come say hi. Well, she got to put her glasses on.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I like that. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How are you?
She did good last fight. Were you happy?
Oh yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. She don't have a black eye. I'm happy.
Absolutely. It feels good to see her get her hand raised, right?
Yeah, just a little bit bump over here. It's okay. You know.
Just put some makeup on it. You'll be all right. It'll go away soon.
Okay, nice talk to you.
All right. Good talking to you. Good talking to you.
Michelle, your impersonation be spot on when you be doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Can your daughter do it?
Yes, she's getting better at it.
Your daughter's a trip, man. Your daughter's a trip. Y'all are all hilarious. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, she's having a good time. Araya loves Yaya, and when she's gone, she's like, "When is Yaya coming back? I miss her cooking," and so it's nice to have her down.
Absolutely. Well, Michelle, we won't keep you too much longer. We appreciate you coming on the Slippin' Dip podcast for the second time. As always, it's fun talking to you and catching up with you. We look forward to seeing you back in the octagon soon.
Yeah.
Against Carolina, right?
What's the next fight you guys are gonna go out to?
I'm going out to fight week. I'll be out there in Vegas fight week.
Yeah.
I think I'll be out there too. So maybe we can link up again.
Yeah, then you can help us get some of your friends on the show so we can grow the show.
Right. Who did you say? So you said you wanted Justina?
And Johnny Bananas.
Johnny Bananas?
Yeah, Justina and Johnny Bananas for sure.
Yeah, I could reach out to them and try to make that happen.
And let them know we're trying to grow the show.
Of course.
Absolutely. Well, Michelle, we'll probably see you out there at International Fight Week then out there in Vegas. Huge fight card, obviously. So, look forward to it.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Have a good one.
You too.
Staying with that theme. When you ball, you get the call. Last night at UFC Atlantic City, Corey Anderson just straight beasted 25-8, doing what he do, making sure that the nickname is a real thing, and got that hand raised. Congratulations, brother. Thank you for coming on to the Slippin' Dip podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the compliment.
Did you know what you could do like coming in? Was that just a game plan? Because he's a good wrestler himself. But if I just watched the fight last night, I wouldn't think he could wrestle. But we know he's a legit wrestler.
I mean, that was the game plan. Like, I know, everybody know I got good wrestling, but they never knew how good it was. But I knew he's going to try to shoot on my punches. He's going to try to get in on as I jab or throw a hook, he's going to try to time it to get in, just like he did in the first round. He got in on the leg one time. And once I realized he wasn't finna finish, like his grips wasn't strong, he didn't have good MMA wrestling technique to get the finish, I knew it was no threat there. I can just let go of my hands. If he get in again, defend it. And then I was like, you know what? Let me start taking him down just to see how his defense is. And when I saw that was pretty much non-existent, I was like, all right, I'm just going to run with it.
We know that you used to win. The fact that you didn't get a win last year, does it feel even extra good to get your hand raised and start 2018 off on the right foot?
Oh, 100%. It's kind of like you forget. When you go a whole year without getting your hand raised, you kind of forget what it feels like. I was sitting here fight week thinking before I left, packing my bags, like, man, like I know I'm going to win this fight, but I forgot what it's like to get your hand raised and to go in the green room with a smile on your face and not thinking about, the bad that happened. And it felt good to get that hand raised and talk to Paul Felder, and, the guys cheering you on, congratulating you after. Hanging out in the green room, it's a lot better feeling with a smile on your face than you don't want to really see anybody because you don't want to hear any negative comments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the second time, you guys were scheduled to fight each other. So, I mean, was it kind of frustrating to get prepared for him again?
No, not at all. He played easy. I mean, when he pulled out the last fight with the staph infection, and I tweeted him like, oh, you're getting scared. You ain't got no staph infection. 3 weeks out, you pull. Like a staph infection takes like a week to get rid of. And he tweeted back like, kids, you need more time to train for me. And I told him, so like, bro, I was ready for you when I debuted. Like, I'm ready for you on my worst day. Like, he just a good style matchup for the way I train, the way I move, the way I punch, my shots, my defense. It's like I just knew he was too slow for me. I mean, he's not taking anything from Pat. He's a good athlete. He made it here. He did a lot of good so far in his career. But You know, like my wife always says, there's levels to this, you know, and he just doesn't have that speed, that pop. He doesn't have the tenacity to get in fast enough or to be aggressive enough to get inside on me. So I was never really worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you feel like you could have finished him at any point in the fight, or was it just, you know, you were just controlling pretty much everything, you know, you were just going to take it wherever the fight went?
You know, in the first round when I rocked him, you know, I could have finished him there, but as I was throwing those big bombs against the cage, and I could feel it in my shoulders because I'm not one for throwing power shots like that all the time. So to throw power shots for about 30 seconds, I can feel it wearing in my shoulders, and my arms starting to get a little more tired, and my breathing got a little bit heavier. And I was telling myself, you know, like, I could go in here trying to get this finish, and he'd be like super tough and resilient and don't go out, and I gas myself out and give him a chance to come back, which a lot of guys do. You know, like with Gian Vellante and Jan Blocker, which they both rocked him in the first and tried to put him out. But in second and third round, they were super tired. Granted, I rarely ever get tired in the cage, but it was just I didn't want to take that chance. And the other thought was I don't want to get in here throwing these big shots and not worrying about my defense and stuff as much. And he throws one of those Hail Mary punches that catch me. So after I realized he wasn't going out, after the first 30 seconds, I bagged up and like, you know what, we're going to go back. We're going to just start picking them off. We're going to throw hard shots, but we're going to pick them, and then we'll take them down, pepper them up, and we'll go from there. If we get the finish on the ground, we'll get the finish. If not, we don't.
By fighting like high-level caliber fighters like OSP and them, did you learn to just basically stick to your base and kind of just, even if it's a boring, quote-unquote, boring fight to fans, me and Matt both live by the theory, getting hit is not cool. It's all about getting your hand raised. Are you cool with winning fights regardless of people thinking they're entertaining, as long as you get your hand raised and you're not catching no punches, or do you think you have to entertain and trade at times and take that chance? Kind of like Kevin last night. Kevin was whooping old boy's ass. He wants to start trading all of a sudden. You see what happened to him. Well, almost happened to him.
Exactly. Like you said, I mean, you can't worry about what the critics say about boring fights, you know. A boring fight is better than keep losing fights because you're trying to go into somebody else's game plan. Then you get cut, and guess what? Now you ain't fighting no more. You know what I mean? You got to go out there and do what you got to do to get the win. And that's what it's about. You're in this sport to win and get the belt. I mean, DC don't care what people say about his style. He does it to get his belt. He goes out there to win. When he fought Anderson Silva, he tried to strike a little bit. That wasn't going well. So what did he do? He started wrestling him, took him down, and finished him off there. You know, you just got to do what you're good at. You can't try to play into somebody else's game. And, yeah, fighting OSP and Jimmy Manuel last year, that definitely brought that to my attention. Like, I'm a pretty good striker, but I'm a great wrestler. I'm a damn good wrestler. So I shouldn't be pulling away from my shots. Like, there was a lot of times yesterday I could have just stayed up and kept striking with Pat, but I knew if I shot right now, I'm going to get him down. Those are points, and it's going to give me an opportunity to punch him more and make him fight to get up. So it's like, whatever, it's there. Take it. Go.
A thing called fight IQ that some guys seem not to have at times. Right? You know, it's like you got to take what's there. And definitely get your hand raised first and foremost. But, you know, it's one of those things, man. It's kind of a tough spot. But, like, we're kind of like in this entertainment era, so to speak, right? You know, we see so many different things, guys doing things for entertainment value. We got CM Punk getting another fight here in a couple months. You know, just entertainment things and, like, what's going to sell. But at the end of the day, man, this is a sport, like, where you guys are getting in there taking real damage. And you're fighting for half your paycheck, most of you guys, right? So I think winning is paramount for you guys. Like, screw all the other stuff. Like, you know, I think the fans will come along when they keep seeing your hand raised over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Winning is the number one, and that's the first important thing out there, is have fun and winning. Those go hand in hand. But, you know, there's some people out like Conor McGregor and the Max Holloways and stuff. They are exciting fighters. Their style is exciting. That's the way they bang in the gym. That's the way they always train. So to go out there and do what they do is naturally entertaining. And then you got people that go out there and try, like, okay, here's for an example, Khabib, his last fight, when he was taking Alaquinta down, he was killing him. Alaquinta had no answer, you know, but once he sat there and tried to, he was like third, fourth, fifth round, he wanted to strike a little bit, he started getting popped, you know, because he's not a striker. He was trying to show off the fact that he had more tools in the bag, but necessarily he doesn't because he's known for his wrestling. That's why he has the record for 26 takedowns in a 15-minute fight, because that's what he does. He doesn't strike. And that's okay, because now what? He's the champ. He's the champ. He wrestled his way to a belt. That's all that matters. Who cares what the fans say or what people think? You just got to go out there and win and get that strap by any means necessary.
See, you should have came on our show a few months ago. I be trying to tell these people in combat sports. When I talk to people, because we all travel like you do, and they be talking about such and such born, or like Mayweather, he's a punk, he don't like to fight. What is cool about getting hit? That's one question I ask people.
No, it's not. Mayweather is the best because he didn't get hit. Oh, everybody else out there rock him, sock him, and they hitting each other. He's getting punched. He can take a punch. Well, Mayweather don't have to take a punch if you can't hit him. If I can hit you and move around and weave and tie you up, and like it irritates you to the point where you can't hit me, and you start overcommitting and making you look stupid, that's a win. I won the whole battle and the fight. So why do I need to worry about getting hit to look cool for you? Like I see people all the time after my fights. I take people down. They always like, "Oh, you just laid and prayed. Why you didn't stand up and bang?" Why? I won. I won. That's all that matters. I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm trying to get paid and support my family. That's what it's about.
Who you want to lock in that octagon with you next time, and how quick a turnaround are you looking for?
Right now I got a lot going on in May, but right after that I'm back in the gym. So July, August, whatever. Like I was saying in the interview yesterday, when I got out of the cage, Misha Krishnoff, whatever his name was, he was sitting cage side. He kind of made eye contact with me. I wouldn't mind that fight. Me and my wife was talking about it today. Volcom, I wouldn't mind that fight as well. Pretty much anybody, like I said, also, I would like get my losses back, but I understand they're not going to throw me a rematch right now. I'm going to have to earn my way back into that. So at this point, I would like pretty much one of those top 10 guys, either Volcom or Misha. I would like to rematch with Shogun or Jimmy and OSP, but I want to stay up in the top right now.
Yeah, I mean, like when you want to, like you said, you want to get those losses back. I mean, is it kind of like a I have to get that revenge type thing, or is it just like I really felt like I could have beat these guys?
I'm a little bit of both. With OSP, it's not a feeling like I really could have beat those. I was beating that guy.
Yeah.
It was like in the back, when I got in the back, all the commissions, the judges, everybody came like, man, you had that. If you would have took it back a little bit, you would have had that fight was yours. You just would have coasted. And that's what made me think about in this fight. Like, why go out here? I'm dominating. I asked my coach at the end of the second, like, it's 2-0, right? 100%. No chance they can screw me, right? He's like, 100%. Like, all right, coach, well, I'm coasting this round. Because there's no point in me going out here and getting caught like I do all the time. Like, I need to get this win, and we'll start getting more aggressive again next time we get back in the cage. And he was completely fine with it. He's like, that's fine with me. Just don't get hit. And that's it. So my other losses, like with Gian Vellante, same thing. I was winning that fight, got caught. Gian, I'm not so worried about getting that fight back because he's not really up in the top anymore. But OSP, Jimmy Manuwa, Shogun, all three of them are still up above me, and they still climbing. OSP just came off a loss to Alil Latifi, but he got caught got caught with that right hand, got caught with the choke. But I just want to fight people above me, and those guys that beat me. Only one that actually beat me, and I was never ahead was Jimmy. And that's just because I feared him too much. I feared his striking instead of worrying about what I can do. I was too worried about what he could do, and it's not going to be that the next time.
So when you see or watch did you watch the Kevin fight live? The Lee,
which fight?
The Lee and Barbosa fight.
Yeah, I watched it.
So when you saw that fight go down the way it did that make you like validate your decision? Like, see, I'm the smart guy today.
I mean, every time you see anybody do stuff like that, Kevin Lee, I mean, granted, like I said, S is my teammate. I want S to win 100%. But when Kevin Lee went there and tried to strike with him, stand in front, and gave him the opportunity to throw that spinning heel kick, that was not smart fight IQ. He was trying to make it seem like, oh, I can do more. Like I said in the interview, I can strike with Barbosa, I can kick with Barbosa, I can wrestle Barbosa, I can jiu-jitsu with Barbosa. He got the wrestling and the jiu part, but you can't strike and kick with a striker and a kicker that's been doing since he was like 3 years old. And that was the mistake he made. He tried to go in there and prove a point because he was so high up on the scorecards thinking he could take a risk, but that little risk almost cost him the whole fight.
Yes, sir. It was a nanosecond.
Yeah, I was
if Edson would have stepped back, if Edson would have took one more step back, Kevin Lee would have fell on his face, and all Edson had to do was hit him 2-3 times, and the ref would have stopped it. He got lucky. Essen stepped in to hit him, and he caught that leg. Because if it wasn't for that, that fight would have been comeback of the year right there.
Also, in that moment, though, like, what does that say about Edson's takedown defense that Kevin could double leg him even in, being like a quarter of the way there? You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't there at all in that moment. Because even after they kind of separated and Kevin shot back in again, like, you could tell he still wasn't all the way there yet.
Yeah, I think at that point, Edson was so tired from being underneath the guy for 2 minutes. You got a wrestler like Kevin Lee who's wrestled, and he does grappling. I've been in Extreme Couture, and I've seen him train before. I've seen him train at the PI. He has pretty good ground game. When you got somebody that's putting that pressure and that weight on top of you constantly for 2 rounds, even when you get up and you tired and you kind of aware, and if they rock like Kevin Lee was and he touched that leg, it's kind of your hips and stuff is tired from carrying that weight the whole time trying to get up. So with Kevin Lee, he's a strong guy. I've seen him train like lifting too at the PI. He's pretty strong. So when he locked onto that leg, Essen is more of a kicker. He doesn't know the wrestling techniques to get away from the takedown. His hips are really good to defend he can defend a takedown and open the mat really well because his hips is fast twitch like his kicks. But when you get him against the cage or you're already in on his legs, it's a little bit harder.
Gotcha. One thing I always ask fighters, because we've had Kevin on the show, we try to show the brothers some love, and he told us that he's calmed down when he comes to the ring. I think he's got the most crunkiest entrance. He bucking while they put the grease on.
He was live when he ran out there, that's for sure.
I know that's part of his personality. We both know that. Do you think more fighters should just don't care what people say and do them, regardless if it's something that's different than the norm? As long as they get you where you got to go, regardless if it's in the minority or the majority.
100%. I mean, it's like the saying, do you, man. Be you, do you, the same things. Don't try to be like everybody else. You got like Kobe Covington out here now trying to be like Conor McGregor and all that talking all that trash. Then when Conor McGregor was in New York talking about I'm on my way to New York now. If they haven't got him yet, I'll bring him in. Like, bitch, you try to file a lawsuit on Verdun for throwing a boomerang at you. Now you want to act tough on the internet? Come on, man. You ain't about that life. Be yourself.
Are you friends with our boy Kamaru?
From college or some corny rich school, wherever you are, that's okay. That's your thing. You're not about the thug life, so don't try to act it so you can get media and get this title fight that you're trying to get. Be yourself. You go out here and you win your fight, be yourself. I can respect that. When you're trying to act like somebody that you're not, and then somebody pull your card, and then you want to act like, a little bitch about it, I'm pressing charges. We professional fighters. We fight for a living. You gonna press charges on another man? Come on, man. You ain't about the life.
Are you friends with Kamaru? You sound just like Kamaru.
Say what?
Are you friends with Kamaru Usman?
Yeah, Usman my boy, but I heard people say he said something to Kobe when they was face to face. I ain't even seen that interview. I've been saying this since he posted that when Verdun threw that boomerang at him and he tried to sue him. I did a huge post then about him, like, bro, you're not about that. Like, don't try to act tough. Then when somebody step to you, you gonna cry.
Check it out. It's on Anatomy of a Fighter. Shout out to my guy Will. He did a good job. Anatomy of a Fighter. You'll see your boy Kamaru let him know they live 20 minutes away, evidently out there in Florida. He's like, we can do this when we get back in town. Your boy Kobe just turned his ass around. He didn't say a damn thing.
Exactly. Some people they wanna act like they about that, but they ain't about that.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying some stuff like, I get paid to throw these hands and all this stuff and yada yada. But I mean, like, I get that. Like, if you're a professional fighter, you don't want to necessarily get in like a street fight, so to speak. You want to get paid for whenever you fight somebody. I get that, but at the same time, like you were saying, Corey, like, don't get on the internet talking all that trash.
Exactly. And I said, you get paid to fight. Okay, so you don't fight. That's okay. I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting you. You way bigger than me. That's understandable because Verdun, he's a heavyweight. Kobe Covington is 170. But the fact that he wanted to file a lawsuit, like you wanted to sue a grown-ass man that's in the same sport as you, a professional fighter like you, because he threw a boomerang at you. You might as well get a restraining order on every athlete in the UFC because they are threatening me every time they look at you. Because everybody in the UFC seem to want to fight him now. So he might as well be trying to file lawsuits on everybody.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation, man. Crazy situation. But so Corey, like, man, what's your life like, man? When you're outside of the gym, like, what do you like to get into, man?
Man, I'm in the gym all the time. That's what I do. That's why they call it overtime and beating 25-8. But if I'm not in the gym in between, like on the downtime, my few hours when the gym isn't open or it's break or whatever, I'm either out back shooting my bow. I'm a country boy, you know. I'm from out in the sticks in Illinois, so shooting guns, bow and arrows, riding horses, breeding horses, dogs, and stuff like that. That's what I grew up doing. So if I get free time, I'm outside shooting my bow, riding my dirt bike, working on my motorcycles or something. I got big hunting trips coming up. I'm going on my honeymoon tomorrow, me and my wife, because we got married on Valentine's Day. But I was in camp. And then once I get back, I'm going to Rio to help Carl Roberson fight, corner him. And I'm going on 2 hunting trips back to back. So that's what I do for fun. I like hunting.
Okay. Congrats on the marriage, man.
Yeah.
Congrats on the marriage.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's huge, and Hallmark Day of the year too.
Yeah, I can't forget that anniversary.
Yeah.
Where you train exactly? Don't you train at Sarah's?
No, I'm in Jersey. I'm with Ricardo Almeida.
Okay, Ricardo Almeida. Okay.
Ricardo Almeida and Nick Catone.
For sure. So about hunting, real quick. Like, what's your favorite thing to hunt?
Deer.
Deer hunting. Okay.
Sitting up in the tree stand. You're in a tree stand 20 feet up. You're just sitting out there in the cold and just waiting. And I know where you'll see something moving, and you gotta wait because it's an art. You can't move at all. You can't make no noises. Your bow can only shoot so far. The deer coming in from like 300 yards. Sometimes you just gotta wait till you get about 15, 20 yards, and now it's time to shoot. So you just gotta sit still. It's an art. It's just like fighting, you know. There's different tactics to it. You up there moving, you making noise. You ain't got the right scent block on. You're never going to win. But if you up there with the right tactics, way up in the tree, sitting there at your camo, quiet, stealth. And just when they pop up in time, you stand up and you take them out. So I'm going black bear hunting in a couple weeks. That'll be my first time doing that. I've heard that's a pretty good hunt. So Jim Miller was telling me that's pretty fun. This week we was talking about it. So we'll see. Maybe that'll be my new favorite thing.
Nice.
He got it down. He like visualizing stealth mode. The stealth mode, you just be like this.
That's how it is, man. Like I know.
I'm a city boy. I don't know nothing about no hunting. I'm not trying to pretend. That's out my element.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was taking hog hunting down here in the middle of Central Texas one time with a couple of friends, and that was the craziest experience of my life. Hog hunting at 1:00 in the morning. Where they have, like a truck full of dogs, they just send the dogs out there. And
that's crazy too. Now I don't go hunting, but I was filming a reality show. Have you heard of Pig Time with that guy named Pig Man? It's like an internet show. Well, he does the whole hog hunting. If you go on the internet, that dude's like a gangster, like sideways, but he's like a very active dude. So it's like we're behind shooting, and when things coming, it's like this is not a show no more. He walked up, but you don't think if that fool miss. It's no do-overs. We're about 500 feet
I heard
away.
the hog hunting get wild, man.
Exactly.
Some people be out there.
That dude was like a gangster and just said, pop, pop. I'm thinking like, I look back at the footage, I'm like, what if that fool would have missed?
I know guys that say they hog hunt with a knife. They go out at night with the little red light on them and they run up and cut the hog. Like, you crazy. I'm cool. Real cool. Like,
have you ever been?
I'm going hunting soon too, but we hunt hogs and bobcats and coyotes and stuff like that. But again, we shoot those with guns from a far distance or a bow. But yeah, nope. That up close hunt with the boars and the predators that can kill you, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Like, so, like, just real, like, they had a truck full of dogs, right? It's midnight, you can't see nothing. So they just let the dogs run out into the fields, and then as soon as you hear the dogs start barking, that's when you know. You go to the nearest bark, they find the hog. Next thing you know, the guys there with the guns, pow, 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 and then they just like whistle, and then we run up, and then it was like, okay, they kind of You know, they slit the throat, make sure it was dead, everything, and they were like, all right, we got to drag it back to the truck. I'm like, what? 500-pound hog, man. Like, what the hell is going on? Got me out here looking like, oh, I'm way out of my element, like Kendrick said.
I tried to like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. You know, the country folks, they hit us with like, oh, we got these city folk out here with us. Like, they literally told us that.
About to get your hands nice and bloody today.
Yeah.
You gonna learn today.
Right.
Do you watch?
Like how here in Jersey, I'm teaching all my teammates and boys, everybody. I'm trying to get Frank Yeager, everybody to get a bow, so I can take them out next season. David Branch said he want to come with me, so I was working on him and Liam McGeary getting the right stuff so they can come out. Carl Roberson, I got him hooked up. Next year I'm taking him out. You know, get these little city boys, let their hands get dirty. You know, get your own kill, gut it, put your hands in there, pull that heart out with your hands, get that blood all on your arms. Hands. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like eating a steak that you killed and butchered yourself.
Man, that
Corey doing the most, boy.
Hey, call it what you want. You can give a man the fish, he'll eat for the day. You teach a man the fish, he'll have food for life. That's the way I live. That's it.
Hey, truer words never spoken right there, man. That's incredible. Yeah, man. So I look forward to seeing some of those hunting pics and stuff like that posted up on social media, huh?
Oh man, I posted so many videos last season. I was getting people from Peter, all kinds of hate messages. People was hating me. I was losing fans left and right all hunting season. Like, I can't believe you were posting kill that. Like, well, I do, and I eat it. So if you don't like me, leave. My followers dropped like 700 people, I think, last hunting season.
That's the thing, right? Like, that's the big difference, right? As long as you got to make it clear, like, you're actually eating what you're killing. Like, some of these people, like, oh, I'm just going out there killing stuff for fun. Like, nah.
No, I hunt, eat. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything I kill, if I kill it and I don't want it, if it's too small, I done risked it. You know, I'm using up that tag now. I got to tag it, kill it, and bag it. That's mine. I made a mistake. I shot the wrong size animal, but guess what? I'm not going to leave it out here to die. I'm going to eat it. It's mine now.
I think a lot of people are just so removed, man. Like, that's how we get meat. Like, that's how you get stuff in the grocery store. That you just walk in. Like, that's how you order that chicken from Chick-fil-A. Like, when you walk in, like, it's got to come from somewhere, man. Like,
hey, Corey, what part of New Jersey do you live in?
I'm in Jackson.
Okay,
in Jackson, New Jersey.
Okay, I don't know. Is that like close to Northeast?
You know where Great America is?
Nah, I just want during the McGregor fight. Well, I said McGregor, the Habib fight week. I stayed with my cousin in Islam. He owns that Chick-fil-A up in Woodbridge. So you come holler at him.
Okay, Woodbridge is like 30 minutes from here. That's what Woodbridge is where Mark Henry's Pizzeria is in Woodbridge.
Okay, that Chick-fil-A up there, that's my kinfolk. He owned it. Owned by kinfolks, by kinfolks, folk kinfolks.
Okay. I'm going to go in there and say, Kendrick told me to come holler at you. Let me get one of them chicken sandwiches.
Shout out to Marlon T for letting me stay. Yeah, if you bring your crew, man, he'll take care of you.
All right. You ain't got to tell me twice. I got a bunch of hungry mofos that want to eat.
Yeah. Kids are going to be getting a call like, man, who's this sitting over here, bro?
He going to send you a bill. You owe me $100 and something. What? They had milkshakes and chicken sandwiches for about 2 hours.
Oh, man. I guess one quick question on that, man. Like, how strict are you with your diet and like throughout the year, man? Like, are you strict with it pretty much year round because you like to stay ready, or is it, you know, hey, I just had a fight, I'm gonna go ahead and pig out for a little bit?
I rarely eat real crazy anyway. My biggest downfall is gummy bears. That's it. But, you know, if you put some nutrition facts, there is 3 grams of protein in every serving of gummy bears, so it ain't that bad. But other than that, I used to be a fat kid. You know, I was 300 pounds at one point. So in my head, it's always a fear if I start eating bad, I'm going to get fat again. So I usually stay away from it. I'm usually eating deer meat or ground beef, like 97% lean ground beef, spinach and my eggs, and I keep it pretty simple. And my wife, she cooks pasta. She's Sicilian, but you know I don't go too crazy with that. I have it for dinner, and that's about it. But the rest of the day, I'm eating pretty healthy, fuel up for training. Because like I said, I'm always in the gym. I'm usually training every day, so I need my body fueling and kicking right, so I don't feed it slop.
Nice. Well, Corey, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. We appreciate you coming on, man.
For sure,
Good
man.
stuff from you. Nice to hear about you.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, man. Congrats on the win. Look forward to seeing you get back in there again soon and rack up another.
Thank you. Well, you said y'all in Texas, right?
Dallas.
Yes,
Where? Okay, Dallas. Let me see. I'm coming hunting May 3rd through 7th. I land in San Antonio. Trying to think where we hunted at. I can't remember. It was like an hour from San Antonio where we went hunting at. I was like, get y'all out there to film some of that. Put your city boys on that. I'm out there with the Wounded Warriors.
That's a 4-hour road trip.
Yeah. Let you come out there and get your hands dirty.
Right? Hey, I don't mind it. It's just, I'm not about that life all the time.
I think Gaethje going too. I think it's gonna be me and Justin Gaethje. We doing a predator hunt out there with the Hero Sports. We both work with them, so
cool.
That would be one for your podcast right there.
Yeah, man. Hey, help us get them on, man. Let them know, man. We all positive, man. We don't do the scandals and trying to jump you and ask you crazy questions. Slipping Dip podcast, we keep it real.
I asked my guy. He running the foundation. If they care if we got like the Slip and Dip podcast out there. I told him me and Gaethje gonna come out there and hunt. Just to do an interview and walk around while we hunting.
Hey, I'll be about it, man. That'd be awesome. Well,
all right.
We'll be in touch with you for sure.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on.